Today I'm going to analyze EGR, ASX EGR, and the reason I want to do this and probably post it online is just to capture my thoughts on where the stock has come from and what it has done in the last 1 week. Because looking once we go through this, analysis. I'll try to explain what I have seen in this stock and what we can expect it to do in the next few days or weeks. So, there are many ways to analyze a stock. Some do it on Elliott wave, or some do it on just price action. I'll probably do it on the basis of what I like uh, uh, I like to see in a stock, and that is what happens once we see a golden crossover. So if you never heard of a golden crossover, I'll just probably explain it in a few sentences. Uh, we are going to use something called a 50 period moving average, and we are going to use a 200 period moving average. So this is the daily chart as of now. So each candle represents a single day, and if we throw in a 50 EMA, let's activate this. Yeah, so as soon as I activated the 50 EMA indicator, you see this red line pop up, and then I activate the 200-day EMA. So you see this blue line represents the stock price over a 200-day rolling period, and the red line represents the stock price on a 50-day rolling average. So whenever the 50-day, which is the red line, pushes above the 200-day, we call it as the golden crossover. Let me zoom in here. Yeah, so this is on the 14th of September we got this golden crossover, and this has been my observation, and probably it's quite common TA terminology, that a stock once it has gone through a long sideways movement, as soon as we see a golden crossover, the price explodes up. Or if you look at it the other way, the price has moved up and it prompts the 50-day, which is the shorter term average, to catch up with the longer term average and shoot above that. Uh, so this action that we see after the golden crossover is pretty common, and there are people who probably have been watching this stock for a very long time, and it's on their radar, saying if we see the price move above the 200-day moving average, above the 50-day average, and if the 50-day moving average crosses above the 200-day moving average, I'm going to buy it. And these kind of people enter the market at this point, which causes the rush, and that causes the next wave of investors entering, and so on and so forth. And let me put in volume also. So what we see is that the volume, which was like completely dead for months, suddenly starts picking up. So let me zoom in. Yeah, you can see this volume bar. That's when people start jumping in, and then sometimes this keeps going on, or in this case we had a few days later, this was the Tesla battery day event, and the price just had one big spike, and then it no, I wouldn't say collapse, but it came down substantially, still above the breakout point, which was this golden crossover period. And then since then it has been in a another sideways movement for more than 3 months. So October, November, December of 2020, it went in a sideways move, and again last week it found life again, and it had this major move up. So this is pretty common feature once we have this golden crossover. Uh, the news that came in was probably even before that, around this time, where I won't go into the fundamental analysis of this stock, but just to let you know that this move in this last 1 week has not been on any company announcement. That is what I want to say. This is a purely uh, technical move. So no fundamental reasons can be attributed for this move. So the risk, let's talk about risk first before we look at what to expect. The risk of any uh, penny stock, this is still a penny stock, is that they can collapse spectacularly. And this will not, if this happens, I won't be surprised, because this happens with this happens quite regularly. So if you are interested in this stock, then please do your own research. I'm not recommending this stock to buy. This is just my analysis, and the reason I'm doing this is I'll explain to you in the next few minutes as to why I'm so excited about this stock. And if you want to, the price, as I said, in a penny stock can collapse just on one single announcement, and you can lose all your money. So just be careful, just be aware of that. On a technical perspective, if you want to see where price can come down to, you can look at this high, which was 30 cents. The price is trading around 39 cents, so it can come down all the way to 30 cents for support and test this support out. If not, there is this big gap that can get filled, or you can look at some Fibonacci retracement and see where the price can come down to. I'll pick this low around this level, and we have seen retraces up to 50%, which matches on the dot at 30 cents out here. So that is quite common. So retracement level also is supported, and the Fibonacci level is also supported. You have seen retracement all the way down to 61.8%. Again, these are called healthy corrections, not price capitulation or something. So even up to 26.5 cents is will be considered as a healthy correction. Gap fill out here, that is also a possibility. So all these things are possibilities if there is no announcement, or the the market is on a very bullish run. If the complete market itself corrects, this kind of a price drop is highly possible. So keep that in mind, and before you go further. So now let me tell you what got me excited. So as I said, we saw this. This is the daily chart, and as soon as we saw this golden crossover, uh, we saw a big run up, and the price has broken above the very long term sideways movement, and it has not come down to test it out. So it tells you that the stock did break out, and it was captured in our very simple golden crossover. Now, what can it do next? Let me what can it do next? Let's switch it to the weekly chart. And what do we have here? The same thing. Now, instead of the blue line representing 200 days moving average, now it is representing 200 weeks of moving average. And the red line, which is to represent the 50-day moving average, is now representing 50 weeks of moving average. So normally The golden crossover is done on the daily chart only. Most of the analysts use the daily chart and it works quite well, as we saw. But now we are seeing that that this last week, which was the week of 11th Jan, we saw the 50-week moving average going above the 200-day moving average. And if I zoom out of this chart completely, that has never happened before in its history. So this is pretty interesting stage that we are in at. So I thought, okay, what happens next? Let's try and find out some charts in the same industry or in the mining industry and see what happens to a stock once the weekly 50 period EMA moves above the 200 EMA. So EGR is a graphite stock, so I thought let me go to NVX, which is probably the market darling on the ASX as of now in the graphite space. And I thought let me compare this stock with NVX on a just on a purely technical basis. Both are quite different stocks, so I don't want to compare them fundamentally, just on purely on the basis of a chart. So same thing with NVX. They had their golden crossover on the weekly, which was on the 6th of July 2020, and the price at that time was 91 cent, and we saw this crazy move up all the way from 91 cents to $2.39. So almost 2.5 time kind of a move in just matter of few weeks. And then same thing, this was also the Tesla battery day issue out there, and the price dropped down. But the heartening thing out here is that the price has not come below this breakout point on this week. So let me draw a line out here. This was the breakout on the 200 move, yeah, sorry, on the golden crossover on the weekly chart. And even when the price flopped spectacularly, it did not breach this point and it went into this sideways movement. And then again, few weeks ago, just at the start of this year, it it started coming back to life and it has started pumping up again. So this golden crossover has remained intact, and the price has jumped again in the last 3-4 weeks. So will this happen with EGR? I don't know, but I'm just trying to explain to you as to what normally has happened in the past with other stocks and what we can expect in EGR. So I thought let me do another check out a few other charts who are on a decent run as of now, just to gather a few more examples. So Linus is another stock which has been on a very good run in the last year or so. So I'll still stick with the weekly chart, and this was the breakout point. This was the breakout week, sorry. Uh, and in this case the price did dip below by a few cents, but after the uh, crossover on the weekly, uh, it has had another very massive run all the way from $2.40 to $5.50. So more than doubled from this point in just matter of a few months. I started again looking at another examples to just to show you guys, and I found NST. Cannot compare NST with EGR. NST is a major gold miner, but it started its journey as a like every other miner as a very small capped, micro capped stock when it was looking out for gold. So this is a beautiful chart. If you go all the way back to 2010, that is when the golden cross happened out here. Yeah, this is September 2010, so quite a long time ago, and the price was 16 cents, all the way from 16 cents to $17. So almost more than 100 time run. So this was $17. As I said, you cannot compare NST with EGR. Both are NST is a beast, producing mine, and it's one of the market darlings in the gold sector. But I'm just talking on a technical basis that once the stock, it requires a lot of things to happen for the stock to have the 50-week moving average push above the 200-day moving average. And that means all this long churn in this case for almost 15 years uh, has translated into this big run up which has been going on for more than 10 years now. So will EGR do the same? I have no idea, but just so that EGR is also on the cusp of turning from a, an explorer or from an explorer into a producer of graphite. So you can do the fundamental research on it on your own. Uh, I won't bore you with all those details, but we are now at the first instance of this. So this is why I did this video, just to capture my thoughts. I'm a holder of EGR, so my views are probably biased, and I recommend you guys to do your own analysis. So as I said, in NVX's case, uh, once it broke out, this low, which was in NVX case was like 91 cents, was not broken. So for in the same thing, uh, if you do a apples to apples comparison, because EGR is also in the same space, if for some reason the price collapses, I'll probably keep an eye on the low of 16 cents and see if that low is disturbed on a major fallback. Or, as I said, there are many other ways to find if the price retraces where it can find some support. Or I've seen stocks which can keep going after, as we saw in other cases, the price can keep going up for a very long time without retracing, or it can keep going sideways until there is some proper news which comes out, and then it will be driven by news based events. So the good point out here is this volume. This tells us there are many eyes on EGR at the moment. People are interested in uh, buying it. It is listed. It trades in Germany also. So uh, we we have got two sets of investors, one in Australia and one in Germany, pursuing this stock. It's a very exciting stock, and uh, being a holder, I'm pretty excited with what I have seen in the last couple of weeks, and I wish we have a run like NVX or LYC, which lasts for a long time. So on that note, I end this short analysis. And my name is Parag Kapdi. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm not very active, but sometimes I do post out there. And yeah, let me know what are your thoughts about this company and this analysis. Uh, thanks for watching this video. I wanted to complete it in 15 minutes, but I think I've gone about 20 minutes now. But if you're still watching this, then thanks for watching. See you next time.